on everyone, it's the NUFC Fans Forum, back again, and I'm joined by Ross, who I'm still not speaking to after that FIFA game, and Simon, who's probably going to make it all about the Great British Bake Off. 2 games, a win, a defeat, same team, same opposition, quite strange. Simon, I'm going to start with you, because you were at Pop World, so you probably don't remember Saturday. The Wolves at home game, was it as bad as we all thought it was?
It was horrific.
It was.
It was absolutely really diabolical.
Why? What was
the
so
word
bad about it?
that I surmised it with was lazy. We were really lazy. Yeah. Wolves, from where I was sitting, set up with a 4-1-4-1 and just plonked themselves in their own half. And then we didn't run at them. We just kicked the ball towards them and didn't try to create anything. People were just passing when they could have taken the ball forward. We had no oomph.
Oomph.
Aye. Oomph. It was just lazy. And someone's going to interrupt. No, he's not. Aye.
Wolves were particularly good at pressing, which we just didn't do in the first game. And he's right about the passing. Lascelles and Bemba and Shelby were the 3 biggest problems.
That must be
a
record for misplaced passes from John Joe Shelby on Saturday.
Now I was sat in the Leazes end quite low down, which is good for the crack, but you can't really see the pattern of play very well. I could see we're losing the ball, but unless you're high up, you can't really see whether the pass was on, what the other options were.
That's the thing. A lot of the times there was no pass on. They were just knocking it, and you couldn't work out the decisions that were going through their heads.
It's just a lack of invention, a lack of effort for me.
How did they get from 6-0 away to that game in the space of a couple of days? What was the
he dropped Gouffran, didn't he?
There you go. That's the thing. My mate was saying this to me. Gouffran's the key now, isn't he?
Jeez, has it come to this already?
Aye, Gouffran's the key, and that was a shocking realisation. Everybody went through on Saturday.
I thought obviously Perez looked well out of place. He came in for Gouffran.
He had his worst game.
Yeah, they didn't swap him and Richie over. What does Gouffran offer that Perez doesn't? What is it that makes the difference?
I think that Gouffran doesn't have the creativity in his game to try and beat people and try and do silly things. Whereas Ayoze did it on the edge of the box, lost the ball, and they scored their second goal. He doesn't try stupid things. He just gets on with his job, and he scored 2 absolute rakers in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but
3.
He's quite a simplistic player, which is no bad thing in the Championship. Limited is not always a bad thing.
So why would he take him out then? Obviously, we're not.
It's his rotation policy. Ross called it last game. He said there's a problem with this system in that you take people out who are playing well because you have to, because you're committed to the rotation. It's not because they haven't played well. You're just dropping them for no reason, and it upsets the flow of the team.
Conversely, though, Rafa did say he kept Shelby in to try and keep that form up.
Yes, so and Shelby...
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Shelby, I thought, was particularly... But the man behind me was very annoyed at the quote-unquote Hollywood Balls.
He's trying too much. But again, there was nobody moving for him, so he had to. There was nothing going on in front of him to pick out.
We've talked about how Gale isn't a target man.
No.
But you look at those front 3 in the first game against Wolves, and you've got Ayoze Perez, who's 4'11", Matt Ritchie, who's 5 foot, Dwight Gale, who's 5'1". These aren't correct by any means, but you know what I'm saying. They're all small. Not one of them won any more than 50% of the aerial duels, and it's no surprise. You're hitting the ball against extremely big defenders who are just going to win everything, and you're expecting to play off these 3. And it's just stupid.
Well, our only
you
real
play it
chance,
off Daryl Murphy, you play it off Mitrovic.
Our only real chance was that Perez one, where it was a good bit of play, got in behind, cut it back, and should he have scored?
It was a cracking save. But then you had Mitro in the second half, had a one-on-one, which he should have buried.
Scored,
but the problem for me on Saturday was Diame.
He was a bit headless.
Mo Diame.
The offers absolutely nout when he's that far up the field. He needs to be running from deep.
He's not a number 10.
I thought he was... Again.
He looked like a fish up a tree once again, which has been the same story every time he's played this season.
I've not been at all. I mean, I know we keep talking about bedding in and people adjusting to the thing, but the one play who's shown, bar that one pass against, was it Bristol away?
City, yeah.
Which, let's face it, if Gale hadn't scored that, you wouldn't even remember he made it.
No.
Bar that one pass, I don't know what he's done, what he's contributed, and what way he works with the system, how he helps with the other players around him. I don't see it. And he was the signing. We remember, that's the big. He's a really big one. That's a great signing.
But we've signed him to play to run from deep, because that's what he was doing at Hull, and then we're playing him in a completely different position.
So where would you use him then?
I'd play him. I wouldn't play 2 deep line defenders. Midfielders just wouldn't do it.
We need more creativity in the middle. At home, especially, because teams are going to sit back, and you don't need Hayden and Shelby in there.
And you don't need Callback to play with one of those two either, because he doesn't offer anything. He's just sort of there just to be like, yeah, I agree with what he's just done. He doesn't do it himself.
How does that work in a game of football?
I don't know exactly. He's just sort of there. But I'd rather play Diarmi deeper and then have... I don't like Shelvey's dropping into the back four thing that he was doing in the first game too much. He did it last night as well, Tuesday night as well, but I prefer him to be playing a creative deep line role like that and then have Diarmi next to him than have him then a defensive midfielder.
I lost count of the amount of times I heard, because it was on the radio, that Shelvey was in and around the QPR box in that away game. And watching the game on Saturday, I can't remember being anywhere near the final
even close to the centre circle.
You always seem to be almost... I mean, the occasions we did load the box, and we'll get on to the Paul Dummett in the room, the elephant on the pitch. Every time we've got men in the box, the ball's then rolled out the left-hand side. Paul Dummett, who could have either taken a first-time cross or pushed on down the side, and he stopped and gave it back to Shelvey. So Shelvey was having to wait there because he knew he was going to get it back. Now, is the problem fullbacks? Now,
well, he's a problem.
Ross, just don't hit me. But if you look at the way we're playing...
You're lucky Simon's in the middle here.
We're trying to do this whole building around thing.
Anita, I'll hit him as well.
We're trying to do this whole building around thing. We don't have fullbacks who necessarily give you blistering width and good crossing. Is that where it all fell down? Because every time we camped Wolves in on Saturday, the ball that we're looking for was to the fullbacks to get in, and neither Anita nor Dummett. Anita gets there and he can put an alright ball in, but it's not his game to want to go down the wing.
He just doesn't do it. Yeah.
Dummett just doesn't want to do any of it.
He can't do any of it when he's past the halfway line. He was especially bad on. I know I'm not going to make him the scapegoat here,
no.
But he was especially bad last Saturday.
Squawker gave him a half-star rating out of 5.
That's bad. That's a bad score.
Yeah.
It was just that little pass where his arse literally fell out of his shorts and he down at the strawberry corner and he just booted it straight out of play. Yeah. It's like, 4.5 million, Alan Pardew. What was
Why on earth did we not accept that?
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know because I can't remember how Wolves wingers were playing. I just remember seeing you're 4, you're 1, you're 4, and you're 1. So there might have not been room for the fullbacks to go in there.
I think you're right that we want to play a system where fullbacks are the attacking threat because we've bought Lazar and we've bought Yedlin. But then neither of those two were fit enough to play on Saturday. I wouldn't say starting anyway. Yedlin maybe. Judging by Tuesday's performance anyway, the two of them were still a little bit green. And you've got Anita who's playing quite well at fullback, but not as an attacking force, so you can't really drop him. And you're not going to put Yedlin in until he's done, like had a gateway game, like a League Cup game where he's going to show something. And I don't know why Dummett plays. I think he's just because we don't have Lazar.
Do you think he's committed to the system? He wants the whole team to be playing with this system, regardless of the
personnel. Yeah, exactly.
With the idea being that when you can get the right players in, then it'll be okay. But that's 2 home defeats now out of what, 4?
Yeah,
that's not title winning form.
No, and I don't think
it's to be expected.
We haven't played the system correctly at home yet.
I think heading into the season, you expect to be better away from home than you are at home because teams are going to come to St James's Park. Sorry to be Mr. Cliche over here, but that's the cup final for them. They're going to set up and frustrate with. Why was it when we're away we've got more room, more freedom, which should be... It's like Middlesbrough, I think, last season. Was it last season or the season before? We've got a couple of Middlesbrough fans in the office, haven't we?
Yes.
They were saying they were much more potent away from home than they were at home.
It was last season.
Because teams frustrate them at home and then just let them do what they want away. So I think that's the way we could go this season. Our away form could be what sends we up.
We do struggle with when the other team presses.
But that's the two things. Huddersfield and Wolves are very good at the high press and didn't let us do anything. Then
we're going to have to get better at breaking.
Our own downfall as well.
What part did the crowd play for you? Because the atmosphere was really off.
Didn't
for me.
get going.
It felt quite strange the whole game.
Wait, to be fair, it was a really hot day.
It was.
I was sunburnt within 2 hours of being outside Bar Local.
Same. I was also sunburnt.
So just heat and exhaustion, I think, played its part. No one could get going in the terraces. That's just talking bollocks now.
The fans are not the 12th man. I hate that cliche. I hate it. If it all went on the fans, we would have won because before the game they were waving flags and singing and all sorts, and we should have come out flying out the box.
The atmosphere, considering we won 6-0 the game before, just didn't get going on Saturday. I thought it would.
But I don't think it played a part I'm not of that thinking.
Certainly, the loudness of the when someone misplaced a pass that was noticeable, which might have played on Paul Dummett's mind especially.
No, because he's a completely limited player. It isn't because people are celebrating to the rafters that he's ever had a good game or a good moment, because nobody is. Who has? Has anybody ever cheered Paul Dummett until he's done something good? I certainly haven't seen it.
I've not got the records on me, but I presume you.
I think it's just an absolute load of garbage to blame it on booing and reacting, because I was there and the reactions didn't happen until the 5th misplaced pass. F***ing up passes like that is like coming into the office and not being able to turn your computer on. It's their bread and butter. It's the thing that they should do without question. And they were doing these ridiculous mistakes. No wonder the crowd gets on their back.
That's quite an unfair comparison, because you're saying that should be as natural to them as for us coming into a computer. Now, if I put 11 men in this office, all trying to stop you turning on a computer, there might be days where you don't get it on until about 11 or 12.
It wouldn't stop me. Maybe you, not me.
So it wasn't the crowd then?
No, I don't think it was. Also, it wasn't forced errors anyway. A misplaced pass is not a forced error, it's an unforced error. I don't care about forced errors, that's good. That just means that the other team are pressing really well and they're doing their job properly. But when John Joe Shelby hits the ball 70 yards out of play and there's nobody anywhere near it anyway, that's not a problem with him being under pressure.
Interesting.
It was flat though.
Did you make any? What do you think the reaction full time then is? Whoever was left did roundly boo them.
The Gallagher did.
Yeah,
well, I was in Elise's and it was a lot of booing.
It was another painful afternoon for Jamal Lascelles as he trotted around the pitch, getting ignored by every single person leaving the stadium.
Does he only go for that lap of honour when we've lost?
It's to show he cares, you know. I'm Jamal, I'm the captain.
It's good. It's to show that he doesn't care about being booed.
Interesting.
Which is good.
Smart lad.
No players get.
But it's painful seeing him do it and just everyone turn their backs on him and walking up the stairs out the ground. It's twice that's happened now. Like no one turns around. I just stop it, Jamal. It's not worth it.
What do you do? Do you wave him?
He goes either way, don't he?
Oh,
I'm in the Gallagher.
That's a personal insult in my opinion.
He was booing.
He trots up the halfway line and goes round the Leazes that way.
Oh well.
Leaves us out in the Gallagher. I think he's scared of her.
So what was the difference then on Tuesday night?
Don't know. Didn't see it.
We played a much better system. They did the simple things better. They didn't try and play Hollywood balls all the time. Shelby still tried his level best to do it. But actually, I know Daryl Murphy is not the greatest signing we've ever made. But you have him as a target man.
I was really impressed with his centre forward play.
He did everything. He did everything.
Holding up the ball, giving it on to somebody else. I was really impressed with him.
Which Dwight Gale can't do. Dwight Gale should have been the one picking up the ball from him doing that. But we didn't have somebody doing that, so he was isolated. So he was never going to score. Daryl Murphy, this is. We also had the fullbacks had a lot of the ball. Did very well.
Yeah,
when Yedlin's at full flight, it's amazing. I mean, Lazar started quite ropey.
I was going to say I was listening to a little bit. Radio Newcastle, and they said he looked very, very nervous. The ball went under his foot and out of play.
Yeah, right at the start. In the second half, he was absolutely fine, but first half it was like a proper continental player debut in an English League Cup.
Second half, though, he put a lot of good challenges in. He looked strong. Yeah.
You see, he had confidence.
That thing where we try and get the full back into the position, but the crossing, he had 3 of those in the first half, all went out of touch. Second half, he was whipping. They were absolutely beautiful. Took him 45 minutes to get going, but he looked Irish.
Yeah.
Totally agree with you on Yedlin, by the way. Just hellfire rapid, and then very little ability.
Theo
on the
Walcott,
ball.
man, that's why you wonder what level Theo Walcott would be playing at if he wasn't hellfire rapid, and that's what I think about DeAndre Yedlin.
There was 2 times though where the
Walcott
play
scored
broke
a hell
down.
of a goal at the weekend. To be fair to him, I know we're not Arsenal fans.
Don't watch Premier League football, mate. I'm doing this.
Scored a great goal.
There were 2 times where the play broke down, and he was miles out of position, and the recovery run for it was unbelievable, and he got back. And I think
give
both
somebody
times
10 yards and get back.
The winger couldn't believe that he caught him up. They had no idea he was around him. How many times that'll either benefit us or haunt us over the course of the season.
The good thing about Yedlin is, I agree, he's not going to be a great player at all, but his speed is extremely useful. We can knock the ball to ideally, you give the ball to Diarmi or Shelby on the edge of the box, and Yedlin runs around, and you knock it through the defence to him, and he puts it across the ball. He doesn't have to whip the ball in. He doesn't have to do anything. He literally just has to kick the ball across the goal. He can probably do that. He did it a couple of times.
That did see him.
So I can imagine that'll be one of our strengths. Sweaty goals, they call them in FIFA.
Sweaty goals,
It's going to be like that, basically.
I've got a little cousin who hates me scoring them. That's all.
I went to uni with a guy who banned them. I'm like, It's part of the game.
It's a goal.
You don't get the referee doesn't blow his whistle and stop you. They're allowed.
Sweaty goals.
Sweaty goals, Isaac.
I don't get
Also,
you can't do them.
Just learn to defend them.
we need to talk about Vernon sending off.
Oh, we do.
I'm about. Oh yes.
What are the FA doing? What are they doing? They've gave him 2 more games.
I know.
They've said no. That's a red card. We'll have 2 more games as well for you. Cheek of appealing.
It's absolute garbage.
Watching it, it's not a tackle where he's got his stud. Watching it, it's not one of those tackles where he's got his studs up and he's flying into the guy's shins. He hit him with his laces around the side.
Yeah.
So surely that's just a late tackle, yellow card, no more. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just because he's too good, isn't he?
I could understand it if the referee sent him off because he was an idiot and he didn't have a good game. I don't mean Anita, I mean the referee.
I'll tell you what though, the light back to Saturday, because talking about bad things is better than talking about good things. That linesman at the Gallagher end, below your box,
Milburn,
didn't know the offside rule.
No, he didn't.
It was horrendous when Vern took a throw in, stepped back on side, and I think it was Richie must have played it back to him, so he was like the other side of the defender. Gave him offside.
Yeah.
What's the crack with that?
The one that leads him was shocking as well. He looked absolutely terrified. He was shaking when he was holding his flag up.
It was the same on Tuesday.
The standard of officiating, I know we say this every single episode of this, but the standard of officiating
not
in this
to know
league,
the offside rule
different.
is scandalous.
No, you could hear the bafflement in the crowd when that happened. It was just like, not like booing. Not that exact noise.
But
who's the worst referee in the Premier League?
Martin Atkinson by a country mile.
Martin Atkinson was considered too good to referee in this league.
Yeah.
That's the level we're operating on here.
If Martin Atkinson gets dropped into the Championship, he'll be better than all of them.
I know. It's shocking.
But
do you think is it because it's us?
No, I don't want to talk like that. I don't want it to be the case. I think that's just genuinely.
Is it intimidating?
Why?
If it's their first time,
we don't even give referees grief. Like I wish we did. I give linesmen grief all the time. I try and climb out my box, put my sandwich down.
I mean, if it's the first time, if they used to referee in Accrington, and they've turned up at St James's Park for the first time, they're going to be a little bit nervous.
We've all had a drink.
But then again, they're professional, aren't they, in the Championship still?
Exactly. They still have to do the same rules. They still abide by the same laws.
To not know that Nelly left. Nelly another boycott. Not to know the
But 2 things that can make you leave the ground. Johan Gouffran scoring a great goal and a poor linesman.
I'm going to boycott the referees. Anyway, Vern's red card.
Yes.
Not a red card.
No, not for me. I don't think anybody thinks it was, except apparently the FA.
The FA.
We didn't even see it from where we were. We saw it was a bit of a bad challenge, and we saw the free kick get given, and then we heard a bit of a murmur, not like a shocked noise, just a bit of a murmur, and then saw him walking off, and everyone around me was like,
our secret boss, who nobody knows, Peter, was with me at the match, and absolutely exploded at that point. Just like,
would you care to...
What's he doing? Coming down the stairs, like demanding I tell him what was happening, why he'd been sent off.
Was he treating you like the 4th official?
He was, yeah.
What did you
tell him? And I felt
him?
exactly the same way. I said it wasn't a red card.
I thought I was going to get stabbed in the Gallagher because I was laughing. I was like proper belly laughing. I was going, everyone was turning around going, what the f*** are you doing, mate? Just, you couldn't help it. You don't know anymore, do you? You don't know anymore. I was at a red card. Anyway, we won on Tuesday, and Vern's in the Holland squad saying, let's have a party.
There's better be a party popper.
Whee!
Should be orange, really, shouldn't it?
And now we get to see what Yedlin's like as well, which is.
But I wasn't a fan of Twitter. Twitter all kicked off, going, "Oh, Jan Mat's moved away to save his international future. Now Vern's taking his place."
Jan Mat's injured.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Was injured that
what
same
you like?
Day.
Do we have to wise up to this? Do we have to adapt how we play for this officiating?
To Twitter,
because that's 2 or 3 times now we're left scratching our heads and we've dropped points or we've had a near miss.
I mean, there's nothing.
We can't get our heads around the officiating.
There's nothing you can do when there's a linesman who doesn't know the offside rule. There's nothing you can do. You can be Barcelona. You're still going to get caught out.
You can be as onside as you like.
Exactly. I don't know. You look at the Premier League now, and they're clamping down on their pulling shirts and pulling arms, and this happens two or 3 times a minute in the Championship. They're just not. There's nothing you can do unless. I don't want us to start pulling players back.
No.
Or anything like that.
I think it's the opposite side of it. Like, you look at the second goal conceded.
That was Marcel's fault.
Where Perez
And Marcel.
trying to play his way out of trouble. There wasn't any contact, and he just thought, "Oh, go down here because you normally get them," and nothing. And if he hadn't got straight up and protested, he could have been up and put a challenge in because the ball went away from him, and they had to go back the other way. And it happened as well in the Huddersfield game. And Bemba thought he was going to get the decision and was conceded as a result. Do we not need to start drilling into them that, look, you're not going to get these?
They just need to stick their arses in a bit more. Just throw their arse around.
Really, does it?
Wait.
I mean, he's got a lot of arse.
Look what happened to Vane when he threw that in on Saturday. Got sent off. Cup run. Are we arsed?
Now I am. You seen that draw?
Dead excited, so we're going to get beat by Preston.
And
there's a couple of Premier League teams who are going to limit themselves. Manchester City, Man United being one of them. Liverpool.
I mean, you've got City, United, West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs.
Yeah.
Sunderland have got Southampton. So
why would anybody want us to play
I
Sunderland?
didn't get that tweet. You did. Was that you did that tweet? Why
would you want to play Sunderland?
Everyone's like, I want a derby. I can't.
Absolutely mental.
Why not? What's the
It's
bad?
awful.
The best thing
It's
about
awful,
this
man.
season is
It's
not going to
awful.
have a flipping derby. It's the worst.
I want 4
We'll beat
weeks
them now,
ruined
man.
before it and 4 weeks
Yeah,
after.
I don't want to beat them. I don't want nothing to do with them.
To be fair, most people were saying they wanted it away. That was my issue with it.
Idiot.
If it happened, it happened. I just didn't get why you were all so against it.
Oh, no.
I hate playing Sunderland, man.
I just don't want anything to do with them ever.
If we never played them again, I'd be happy.
Might happen. I'm going to switch leagues end of the season.
Exactly.
Less about them, though.
No,
but
that's true.
beat Preston, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Preston aren't a terrible team. Let's not disrespect them.
But it's
because
probably
I
the best draw we could have had.
Huddersfield
Yeah.
beat us.
Preston at home is the best we could have hoped for.
It is. I mean, Bristol Rovers are still in it.
Are they?
Aye.
Bristol
City, sorry. Won last night. Beat Fulham. We could have, if we got them, that would have been slightly.
Well, them or Preston would have been the preferable draw, I'm sure. But
it's not like us to get a favourable draw in the last
3 in a
5
row.
years.
Usually you've got
Bloody
Chelsea
hell.
away.
3
Stage
home
Man
ties.
City away.
we'll get Chelsea away.
It's
next
our
week.
year. I'm going to book the day off work on the Monday.
But as
One of my mates has put a tenner on us winning at the start of the season.
But as a priority,
I don't think it's a priority. I think because he rotates the team so much, we can
Doesn't
do
matter.
whatever we want.
Exactly, aye. And this finishes in the start of February, doesn't it? So you've still got
It was
4 months.
still got 80 championship games
I
to
know,
play in
more
February,
games.
haven't you? Well, it'll be fun. We'll have a nice little
See
day
now, once
out,
we've
maybe.
lifted the cup, we've still got enough time to
Well,
salvage
obviously,
the
we'll be on a high, won't we? After
Momentum,
winning the cup,
you know.
yeah.
Deluded. You're deluded.
You trying to do his voice?
No, Magnums.
All right.
Mate, you're dead loaded.
See,
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
That's also
Just
his
leave it to
Geordie
Ross.
accent as well.
Just leave it to Ross.
Stop.
No, it's not. There's a subtle difference
It's
in the
like
vowel sound.
chase and K. It's like those. You know what? Those tubes you had in music class. You go,
Oh, yes, I do. And not in music class.
Chase,
We had like violins and that.
Can't believe it. That's how Malcolm's talk. I lived in that shit for 3 years. I know I do.
And he's allowed to say it because he did.
4. We're going to win the cup. But we're
We're going to win the League Cup. We're
But-
going to get promoted.
Or we're going to win the league because we've got our biggest test of the season. Hype on Saturday.
We haven't got the biggest test of the season because
So far.
No,
No,
I
I
still
dunno.
don't think that.
They've had a rocky start, haven't they? Villa? They draw every game.
Oh, but it'll be... The
I would
floodlights will be on.
Derby above Aston Villa
Really?
at the present.
Huddersfield
moment.
above Aston Villa. They're above us.
Aye, but not
It's
before
the two relative. They'll be more.
This
up,
is the biggest game on paper.
They'll be up for
Yes.
that game more than they'll be up for playing whoever they've lost to.
Aye,
It's it's Aston Villa. It's the two
because they
biggest
love
sides
to
of this league.
pretend that
allegedly.
we're obsessed with them while being obsessed with us.
It's the weirdest rivalry
So
I've
strange.
ever.
It's not a rivalry.
Well, it's just because of that
I
game
don't
in it
care
when they
about
sent
them. I
us
care
down.
about their reactions to us.
Just don't get it. So wasn't there some bloke wrote a thing about Newcastle fans need to stop caring about Villa, which he'd written unprompted in his about Newcastle fans in his Aston Villa newspaper.
Yes.
Every single paragraph just screaming, "Please pay attention to me."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Stan Collymore-itis.
He must have blocked us.
He's blocked me. He blocked me years ago. I told him to stop talking out of his dick hole and he blocked us.
Well, I can't imagine.
How do you do that?
How did you do it? He was just talking utter spunk. Just out of that. It just got us really angry. And
Right.
I lost
Did
it.
you at him?
I did. Of course I did.
Tin pot that. Tin pot Twitter behaviour that at a
You're
celebrity.
such a Twitter troglodyte or whatever they call them these days.
Troll.
Troll.
Aye.
Troglodyte.
Troglodyte wouldn't be able to use
That was a
Twitter.
Freudian slip, that. Insulted us?
Troglodyte, that's what they're calling it now. That's
No
the new
idea.
phrase, isn't it? You're a Twitter troglodyte, you.
Has anyone seen our show? Are we going to win?
I think it'll be a draw. I mean, we don't draw,
God.
but
No, we haven't drawn a game this season.
no, but Aston
mean-
Villa draw. And they've quietly assembled a fairly good squad. They just can't seem to play.
The derby, if we play it, we did a derby. I think we're in for a nice little win as well.
Yes.
Say we did a QPR.
Wait,
Aston Villa.
we're not going to do that.
Aston Villa have got far better attacking options than us. They've got Gestead. They've got this Ivorian kid who they signed for way too much money, who scored a raker.
Is that from Bristol City?
Yes.
Is it Kawadja?
It is.
Might have just made that name up.
They've still got Gabby Agbonlahor who's not getting a game. They've got
The
Ross
man who
McCormack.
always looks like he's on the brink of sneezing.
He always plays well against
Does
us.
actually.
And they've got one more.
Yeah.
But they've got 5
McCormack?
options. They
Have
had
you said
McCormack.
McCormack?
They
Did not
had
keep
him on
Ayew
the
as well?
pitch. Jordan Ayew, that's it.
He plays like AMR.
Yeah, but they put all 5 of those on the pitch at the same time the other game. I mean, they still drew, but
How are we going to play then? Are we going to go for them? Do we have to be the counter-attacking side?
You see, because Derby were absolutely non-existent up front. I think if we do sit back like that, thinking about it now, we might be a little bit
yeah.
because they actually have
If
quality.
we let
where Derby
Gestead
didn't.
win headers in the box, we're
Why?
absolutely ruined.
That's the big one, isn't it? Like,
We'll have to play
'cause
Hanley. I mean, I don't like Hanley particularly as a starting player.
Would
but
you drop
he
Mbemba?
never loses
Yeah, I
headers.
would.
because he's not a good header of the ball, is he?
I would drop Mbemba against. I'd
I
rotate
would
Mbemba
actually
against
play
Villa.
Hanley and Clark because Clark, I mean, he's Stephen Taylor.
I
all
thought he
over.
was going to go for you there.
He
Like.
doesn't like him, but honestly, he's
Hard to go now.
he's better than he's been more solid this season than Lascelles has in terms of consistency. He's not a
He's
not
only
a
played
great
2
player.
games.
I know, well, he has not a bad one.
Was this your
Hang on,
controversial
he was-
opinion you wanted to say today? That you worked out in advance?
He hasn't had a bad
I'm going to say
game.
Clark's
He
better than
hasn't- he hasn't
Lascelles.
had a bad
He
game.
was awful
No, he's
against
not.
Brighton.
He's not better than him.
He's been better than
He's been better than him.
in his 2 games.
Right, so I'm conscious the camera's running down, so we're dropping Bemba for Clark. That's what we're going to settle on.
Yes,
For
we're gonna
Hanley.
play. We're going to play. No, Hanley's coming in. He's staying in. Hanley and Clark. I don't want Lascelles playing. Because I think if he gets pressured by a big centre forward, he's gonna lose his head.
But he's a unit.
But Rudy Gestead can jump
He's a unit too.
19 foot in the air.
Well,
What I would say about Rudy Gestead is look at his goals record. He's not very
Yeah.
good, Simon.
No, he isn't. But if they put the ball,
You're a bit too scared of him for my liking.
But I'm also scared of who's that Stoke player who always plays mint against us? John Walters. I'm terrified of him, and he always plays well against us. He's got a goal record, always scores against us.
That's like Victor.
Victor should be.
Yeah,
Exactly. I know who to choose, and I'm
That's the only
terrified of him.
reason Sunderland signed him because he always scored against the Mags.
I don't know what that dance
True
is.
story. Well, we'll find out what's going to happen, won't we, on Saturday?
So I think team-wise, we should drop Sells. Keep it at Darlow because he didn't have a bad game.
I thought Darlow was excellent, actually.
Yeah,
Well,
nothing to do.
I've been wondering for weeks why we don't drop Sells because it's every single game he makes.
That
That's
second
shocking,
second
Simon.
goal was awful.
You think he had nothing to do because everything he did was so
everything he did.
so non-nonsense. No,
I saw the- I've seen
Nonsense.
non-nonsense.
Nonsense.
That makes sense.
I've seen the highlights and every save he made,
Confident?
just put his body in the way, didn't
Yep.
he? Like a goalkeeper does.
It was all
Exactly.
the catching.
And
Didn't come out
he was
doing
catching-
this.
He
he
made
was
one
coming in the
amazing
box.
put. He went through about 3. You know, saying Sells is scared of going.
Yes.
He went through 3 people, hurt himself, and
He
whacked the
did.
ball away.
Good on the lad. That's what's you're watching, maths.
But anyway,
No,
we'll
no,
find
no.
out what's going to happen on Saturday, won't we? When
Yes.
the 3 of us reconvene at What Culture HQ for another live stream. We're actually all coming this time.
Yes, I'm coming.
Fun times.
I'm
We're
going
invited
to
this
drink
time.
this time.
Oh, should we all make
Yeah.
proper
Should we go
lads' night out?
Pop World afterwards.
I think we
Absolutely
should.
not. I was in the Black Garter last weekend. I'm not going anywhere near those areas ever again. I almost got killed.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No,
I was terrified.
you didn't almost get
I
killed.
also had half an X in the beehive, which definitely almost killed us.
Half a pill.
No, half
in the
in the beehive.
Can't be admitting that on
exhibition.
camera.
Just have a half one, see how you felt. Was that?
Yeah,
Save the other half for later in the night just to pick you up again.
yeah.
We've all been.
Anyway, we're talking about
yes.
drugs on YouTube.
Well, I suppose we'll find out on Saturday then, won't we? Because we'll all be here watching the game. That'll be fun. Do join us on Saturday because it is kind of weird if we do it into a void and nobody else is there. We'll be around from about 4 o'clock, we think, with a bit of preamble. Actually, no, we'll be here from 4 o'clock. Time's the game? 5:30.
Yes.
We'll be live from about 5 then.
Live at 5.
That's what I was waiting for. Until then, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. I have been Adam. I've been joined by Simon and Ross. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. This has been another NUFC Fans Forum. We'll see you soon. Simon.
I'm waving. My hand's behind his. Look.
Oh yeah. Bye.